It's fine to strive for perfection so long as you know that it's unattainable. We move in the direction of it, but there's a certain point at which we have to let go, because perfection is not possible in the relative world where everything is moving, everything is changing. When everything is moving and everything is changing, there's only one kind of perfection that's possible, and that is the perfection of balance. Perfect balance is a possibility, but it's a dynamical state. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of always being mentally and consciously as stable and as adaptive as you need to be to serve the circumstances. A great combination of stability and adaptability is perfect balance. So with all surfaces moving and all things moving and your body in constant movement, can you stay in a state of equanimity? Equanimity means evenness. If you can maintain evenness in your consciousness, that could be perfect. But trying to get the world around you to become perfect and stay perfect, it's an invitation to disaster. Right now I'm gazing at my floor. You can't see it from where the camera is shining, but it's a Navajo weaving. Navajo is one of the names of the Dene tribe that live here in northern Arizona and have lived here for about 6,000 years. And they are expert master weavers of blankets and rugs of geometric pattern. They know how to make the pattern absolutely symmetrical, beautiful symmetry of sacred geometric patterns. But they intentionally weave into every rug, every pattern, an imperfection, an imbalance, something that's not symmetric. And very often tourists who approach the Navajo tribe and who, want to buy one of their rugs that are appropriately quite expensive, because it takes about 1 year to make one, from the shearing of the sheep to the discovery of the plants that hold the dye, to the twisting of the wool, to the weaving of the rug on a vertical loom, all done by women. It's, quite expensive to purchase one of these things. And so then tourists who are not yet fully informed, that means underinformed, will very often look at a rug and say, I'm not going to pay that much money for this. It has an imperfection in it. And they have to have it explained to them that that imperfection is by design. And why did the Navajo do this? Because if you attain to perfection, you cause attraction of destruction. Nature does not like perfection. Nature does not like supersymmetry. If you can create supersymmetry, somehow you'll cause destruction. For those of you who are fascinated by science, and particularly about the mechanisms of the science of thermodynamics, you may well have learned or studied a state called absolute zero. It's in the high 400s of Fahrenheit degrees in the negative. Being able to reduce the temperature, refrigerate something to the temperature, a space or an object, to the temperature of nearly the coldest that anything can get. When we approach absolute zero, we begin to discover and reveal all kinds of quantum mechanical behaviors and regular elementary things, particles and products. For example, lead, near about absolute zero, instead of being a terrible conductor of electricity, lead becomes a superconductor, meaning it is more conductive than gold and copper. You can put an electrical current into a donut of lead that's been lowered in temperature down to nearly absolute zero, And that electrical current will go round and round and round infinitely without any loss of voltage. Helium normally is a lighter than air gas. It's used in helium balloons. But when you reduce the temperature of helium to near about absolute zero, it turns into a fluid, and it's a superfluid. This superfluid tries to spread into a sheet that is 1 atom thick. If you put it inside of a container and you enclose the container, the superfluid helium will find its way through the atomic structure of the walls of the container, and it will sweat its way out of it. It's impossible to contain it. It stays flat and wants to go supersymmetric. Now, absolute zero has never been attained to, and it cannot be, because it's been calculated that for each 1/1,000,000th of an extra degree in the direction of absolute zero, it takes more energy than all the energy that's available in the universe to refrigerate anything with enough power to reach absolute zero. In other words, absolute zero is basically telling us, don't even try it. Don't try to come here. And there's some scientists, and I'm amongst them, who believe that if you reached absolute zero, it would cause a chain reaction of unmanifestation, where everything in the universe would move into a giant black hole and become unmanifest. And so absolute zero is one of those illegal states. This is telling us that perfectionism in the relative world is futile. And it's all right if we move in its direction, because we like things to be better. What we want, if we really want to get out of the perfectionist mentality, is we want to move into that which is ideal. What is ideal? Optimum. So let's get out of the very Western mindset that is maximalist, and let's get into optimum. Optimum functioning, not maximum functioning. You know, when you look at pill bottles that are sold at pharmacies, aspirins and various kinds of painkillers and things, you'll see maximum strength. You're never going to see a bottle of painkiller tablets to say optimum strength, ideal strength. Why? Ideal and optimum won't sell to Westerners. Whatever is the maximum, I want the maximum. What if the maximum is going to kill you? That's all right. Will it get rid of my headache on my way to death? On my way to certain death? We're obsessed with maximum. That's our obsession with perfectionism. We need optimum. Optimum and ideal. Ideal behavior. Optimum functioning. Not maximum. And so, you know, getting out of the maximum mentality and getting into the optimum mentality, that which is represents perfect balance, this is a good goal for us. And it will certainly be a lot easier on all those who are forced to surround us. Perfectionists are almost impossible people to live with, and that's evinced by the fact they can't even live with themselves. And so it demonstrates a lack of bringing into balance the inner consciousness with the outer. Optimum is great. Ideal is ideal. Perfect is unreachable. Provided that you know that, you can lean in the direction of perfect and then relax somewhere on the way in the optimum.